One feature that is consistent throughout all the Signal Culture apps is Key Learn and MIDI Learn. Key Learn and MIDI Learn allow you to use your keyboard and any MIDI controller to control the different parts of the app without having to click on it on your screen. So let me show you how it's done. In the frame buffer, I'm going to use Key Learn to start. And if I click Key Learn, you notice that everything gets highlighted. And if you want to, let's say, enable things that are not already enabled, there will be a little checkered line around it. And so I can say enable for mapping, and I can have it on any of those things. So right now I really want refresh to be enabled. So if I need to refresh all my inputs, I can click R for refresh, for instance. And now I can easily remember, oh, I don't have to click refresh if I want to see all the inputs. I can now hit R, and now I can see all the inputs in this list. Now, in addition to that, I can also use Key Learn to do things that are like really quite useful, like going back and forth between key black and key white. I can enable that parameter, and I'm going to just, because R is right here, I'm going to make it easy. I'm going to remember for myself Q, because it's right there at my fingertips, and Q will switch between key black and key white. So if I now click Q on my keyboard, it's going to switch between whether it's going to be key tolerance on white or key tolerance on black. Now, in addition to all this, we also have MIDI Learn. Now, I will explain MIDI in another tutorial, and also we'll talk about different kind of MIDI controllers. But for right now, you should know that MIDI Learn only works with MIDI control data, which I can get here on iCorg Nano Control 2. And so I can map any of these sliders to change the slider positions on the app. So if I click MIDI Learn, I can then highlight that particular learning data, or that particular parameter, to listen to the MIDI data, and I can put the parameter up and down. And now as I slide up and down, key tolerance is now keying in and out. I'm now going to select key soften, and I'm going to use a different parameter. I can choose a knob or a slider. How about I do a knob this time? And I bring the knob all the way up to soften that key. So I can use the knob to soften that key. And now when I hit escape, my slider is the key tolerance, and then my knob is to soften or harden the edge of that key. And so I can now click Q to go back to my key white, work my tolerance and my soften, hit Q again, and it's a very, very, very quick way of transitioning between these states without having to move your mouse around and click on them and drag them. So you get a much more intuitive, performative way of working with your apps. So if you have any further questions, check out some of the other tutorials, and happy playing.